The bombshell. Dallas parts ways. The Mavericks. Not to be confused with the Cowboys or any other team in Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks part ways with Nico Harrison.
And by the way, Scotty Boy said Celtics won't make it either.
Shout out to Scotty Boy.
um.
What are your thoughts, dog? You got to weigh in.
Okay, so in the history of Harrison, and I know one of the questions I have, and I guess this could be answered once we get further into the discussion, is what makes a good candidate for a GM or president of basketball operations? Is it a former coach? Is it a former player? You know, like what should you be looking for, right? Is
That's
it a is it an agent, former agent, or somebody's represent, you know, an attorney who represents play? I don't know, that knows the ins and outs of the legal side of the game, but you got to know something about what's going on the court, right? You could have great relationships with people, but building a team and a roster is more about just having great relationships and being a good people person, is knowing what pieces to put together, what people to put together, and personalities and skill sets to put together so you can build a competitive team. And ultimately the goal should be a championship team. So
mm-hmm.
Harrison, what did he start? West Point, right? Started out at West Point, spent a year there, transferred to, was it Montana State? Played there for 3 years. Um, Bounced around overseas. Didn't get drafted in the NBA, so he bounced around overseas, played there. But then he had a long stint with Nike, right?
Yep.
As a marketing representative.
Mm-hmm.
Started off representing players on Dallas's team.
Yeah.
Michael Finley, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know there's some other players I might be missing out. Do you have them in front of you?
Well, I know he had a relationship with Kobe.
Yeah, that was after.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
when he
yeah,
started kind of,
yeah, yeah. So I don't,
the
yeah,
maturation process
yeah,
led to
I
Kobe.
don't, yeah,
I think it was Kobe and actually Jordan too. Um, you know, before Jordan was, maybe it was before Jordan was out of the league, like the later stages. I'm
mm-hmm.
not exactly sure, but I believe he worked with Jordan and he also worked with Kobe. Um, a few other big time players, none bigger than those two, obviously. But he became like a national marketing rep for Nike at
Yeah,
some point. So he's, I can, you know, building all these relationships. He's cool with all these guys and people like him. And, you know, he seems like a solid guy.
you got to do the meme.
But my question, and maybe you saw this in your research, is where's the connection with him? Was it because he was representing the Dallas players to where they felt comfortable enough to say this is our guy? Because he succeeded Don Nelson, right?
Yeah,
Right. So that those are big shoes to fill. And you're like, this is the guy right here. So I'm like, okay, what made Dallas say this is who we are putting in this seat right here to lead us going forward in this position?
that is a great question, and that's something that I'm trying to figure out the answer to as well. Like, because to everything that I've seen and I've heard when I've spoke to people, um, Nico was big on the grassroots level with Nike and EYBL. And so he had influence there, and he was doing stuff on that grassroots level. And then when he left, it kind of changed the EYBL grassroots level when he went to the Dallas Mavericks. So um I don't know how he got that opportunity, but man, it was an amazing opportunity to have.
And one thing that Scotty Boy said too, which, you know, Something I thought about as well. He said, let's be real now. Harrison was told to trade Luka. He didn't trade him by his own doing. I'm tired of the propaganda.
We gonna get there, Scotty boy. Don't worry, Scotty boy. We gonna get there. We are going.
Ball guy.
We was just, we building it, Scotty boy. We building it. We building the
If you
argument.
build it, they will come.
Man, you sound like Noah's Ark.
It
Sound like God talking to Noah, man.
ain't Nico's arc.
Yeah, Nico's Ark.
Nah.
Yeah, man. It was a wonderful opportunity to have. When did Nico Harrison get there? Do you know when he became?
2021, I think.
Okay, so
Because in his first, I think it was his first 3 years, which the track record of what they've been doing isn't bad under his tenure.
no, it wasn't.
First 3 years, I think they made the conference finals and they went to the NBA finals in one of them years, 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was 2021.
Okay. And he was a part of Jalen Brunson going to New York, right?
I'm not exactly sure, but
Yeah. So, because once they start digging up all the old bones and all the skeletons.
oh no. Did
What?
they dig up that one about him botching the Steph Curry to Nike presentation?
That was one of them. Another one is that they had he had Drew Holiday. What was it? Drew Holiday on the same tier as Nikola Jokic in terms of NBA players and talent. Like there's a lot of stuff coming out about Nico Harrison. But the one thing that I will say about him, I do agree with you, Scotty boy. This was not I don't think this was his idea to trade Luka. I think he executed it as the GM, but he was urged by higher powers, the powers that be, the new ownership that took over Dallas to do this.
I think we need to use a stronger word than urged.
Okay, he was nudged, he was forced. We're gonna say forced.
Let's forced to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the thing is people forget, man, when Luka was first traded, everybody was talking about how he had run his course in Dallas, how he was overweight, he was out of shape, he's drinking beers
Yeah,
at
they were talking all
the
that.
finals. Michael Finley had to take the beer from him. Like this is during season. This is right after a game. He's popping a beer. So, you know, that was Luka seemed disgruntled in Dallas. Honestly, it like drinking beer, like so. When Luka got traded, Luka became motivated and rejuvenated in LA. That had nothing to do with Nico. That just was
well, in part because he's the face of the executed trade.
that was just a circumstance. But I mean, Nico also bought Kyrie in. He also bought Daniel Gafford in. Like Daniel Gafford was rotting away in Washington. I remember watching Daniel Gafford in 2022. He played for the Washington Wizards. They played against the Lakers. I was at the game, and I remember thinking, damn, who is that guy? That guy is nice. And he was just withering away in Washington. Nico got him to Dallas. PJ Washington was withering away because he was splitting reps between him and Miles Bridges in Charlotte and bought him to Washington.
Scotty Boy said, don't forget, Luka was smoking cigarettes too.
doing everything.
Oh
so,
shit.
so he like when he first made the deal. So he bought Kyrie there too. But when he first made the deal for AD, and people have selective amnesia, AD in his first game had 24 and 13 in the first half. I
Mm,
don't even know if people remember that. AD looked motivated
yeah.
and rejuvenated. And then after some time, AD started eating some of that Dallas food. I guess that's he got on that Luka Dallas diet. And and AD
Well, well,
started.
if you talk about motivation though, is he motivated if now Kyrie is out,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not
I was
playing? Luka's gone, obviously, because that was in exchange for you. Like they're they weren't really a contending team at that point.
No, they weren't. And Kyrie went down in March. So the deal went down in February. Kyrie went down in March.
Shortly after.
Yeah, so you never had time to see it materialize. But with that big front line, with the Kyrie, they would have been a problem.
Yeah, you just need the guard play. It's similar to like, and I'm not saying that Houston engineer is on board with Dallas in terms of player for player or anything like that.
Mhm.
But Houston has a big team,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And when they lost their point guard to an Achilles tear,
Fred Van Fleet.
Van Fleet, we're talking
No,
about
no,
how
torn ACL. Torn ACL.
ACL. I'm sorry, well, torn ACL. Um, we're talking about how that looked like it kind of threw them off their square. Like they look like they need a guard to facilitate the offense.
Absolutely.
That's Dallas. They need guard play. I mean, you got some guys in, and I don't shit on these players. You got some guys in there who are capable and stuff like that. But um, Kyrie is a big loss. That's not, you don't have another Kyrie
Absolutely.
sitting on that bench. Coach ain't saying, hey, Kyrie number 2, come on in. Like that ain't happening. So it's a big void for them to fill.
Man, even with that, you look, right? Okay, so you make those trades, you're dealing with injury. You get the first pick in the draft. The media, everybody said Cooper Flag. You got to get Cooper Flag. There's no way around it. Now,
Yeah.
does he want, I don't know if he wants Cooper Flag. The one thing that I have kept saying, like, I like the pick, but I keep saying, and I've kept saying, Cooper Flag isn't a franchise player. He's a good player. He's a good piece. But everyone is saying it like he's a franchise player. He's going to be the cornerstone, and he's going to be the game changer. You get Cooper Flag, instead of playing him at his natural position, Jason Kidd plays him at the point guard spot.
Yeah, and we talked about that last time, but and I'll say this, for his development, I'm not necessarily mad at it.
I understand that, but if you're not mad at it, and it's about the development, then you can't throw up the fact that Dallas is 3-9 and start blaming Nico Harrison for everything if Jason Kidd decides to play him out of position to develop him.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying, like, it's like, come on, man. But in the games that they lost, in the games that they played so far, they're 3-9. First game, San Antonio Spurs, 8-3. They lost. They lost to Washington. Washington 1-10. That's the only game Washington won all year. So that was a bad loss. Toronto, they beat Toronto. Toronto 6-5 has a winning record. They lost to OKC. OKC 12-1. They beat Indiana.
Mhm.
Indiana's 1-10. They lost to Detroit. Detroit's 10-2. They lost to Houston. Houston 7-3. They beat the Pelicans. No, excuse me. They lost to the Pelicans.
Right.
Pelicans 2-9. They lost to Memphis. Memphis 4-9 has a slightly better record than them.
They beat everybody who they were supposed to. If you
And that's what I was getting at exactly.
ex,
All
ex, except for the
Washington.
Wizards, yeah,
Yeah, they split.
right.
They split with them. But every other loss that they had, those teams have better records than them, and they're probably better teams. And with the pieces that they haven't had their whole team. Like AD's been out. Gafford's missed some time. Likely's missed some time. I mean, excuse me, Lively
Mm-hmm.
missed some time. Kyrie's out for the season.
Yeah,
You bring in
Russell.
Russell. Russell has looked like a shell of himself so far in 21 games. I mean, excuse me, in the first 11 games, he played an average of 21 minutes. He's averaging 11.5 points. He's shooting 37% from the field and 27% from three.
Is it 11.5? I had 10.9.
That's not. I had it through the first 11. He's played
Okay.
12 now.
Okay.
So yeah, like looking at their team stats, they're last in points per game. They're 26 out of 30 in field goal percentage, 44%.
Mm-hmm.
They're last in three pointers at 29%. They're 25 out of 30 in free throw percentage. They are 13th in rebounding. That is a bright spot, but that's what the intent is when you put that big front line in. So that's part of the bright spot. You just haven't got a chance to put it together. Nico Harrison said when he made that trade, they were looking at it from a defensive standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to be better defensively. That's what they were going towards. So I could see what he was trying to do. It's, it's an unfortunate thing. And he did become the scapegoat when you have your home crowd at games saying fire Nico when Dallas players
That's
are
a
at the
bad
free throw line.
situation.
You got to make a move.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No. Yeah. It's just the optics of it. When you got people out there saying fire Nico, but that's a crowd pleasing move, and it's the easy move to make to get the pressure off of your organization, by essentially making him the scapegoat.
yeah,
Everybody's like, how could you make this the dumbest trade and all of these things? And Dallas is looking like a franchise that's whatever, botching the pass, the snap, whatever analogy you want to use, they botching it, right? At least that's the general consensus when people start discussing this trade. And this is just now, it's like, oh, he was the problem. He was he ran our basketball operations. He was the GM. We had to get him out of there. Now we can move forward and rebuild. So it was a scapegoat thing.
yeah,
It was a scapegoat thing, in my opinion. Like he is not the only one that's in there deciding, yes, man, we gonna trade Luka, right? And then let's look at it from this standpoint too. Unfortunately, you had Kyrie get hurt, right? Unfortunately,
yes.
had he remained healthy, I would venture to say Dallas is a better team than the Lakers.
I was gonna say they get past the play in,
Oh yeah, they
and then
probably wouldn't have been in a
depends on
play-in
who they match up.
position.
It depends on who they match up with.
They
And
probably wouldn't have been in a play-in position with all of with the healthy roster.
yeah,
Like, but it's it's the if, ands, buts, maybes, and all of that. It's nobody wants to hear about that when the results are slapped on the table. So it's like I say again, it's unfortunate. Um, the move itself, though, considering if everybody was healthy, if all
yeah,
things constant and everyone was healthy, no changes in that, I'm not so sure that it's a bad move. It what it is you just you really have to have some things happen in your favor to justify moving was considered your franchise player after you already go to a finals with a team that's built around that guy.
The year before.
Right. Like that shit, that's where it's like, dog, like this shit, it don't make sense.
That's where you have to but that's where you have to ask yourself, like, what's really going on behind the scenes for them to move past this guy 1 year later?
No, that's true. But I'm asking you to also look at it just uh taking a step aside from we know what happened. But if you are in a room and you're saying, hey man, uh you give a you lose a Luka, but you gain a duo of Kyrie and Anthony Davis with that supporting cast that Dallas had at the
Yeah,
time. That was looking like it was about to be a scary team.
it was, because
So
AD didn't have to play the 5, and he doesn't wanna play the 5. He was back to the 4. Yeah.
so I mean, I get it, you know, superstars move, so it'll always be questioned, especially based on the results. It'll always be questioned, but um
What what's funny to me, man, is that they keep like I'm looking at some of the media outlets and they're like, you move your biggest international star. Like for me, I guess it matters, but I'm not looking at it like that. Like, doesn't matter if he's a domestic star, if he's
yeah, it's your star. You
yeah,
moving your star.
yeah.
But we talked about this too, KP, about um international versus US players and the push for that. Like the league is changing.
Hmm.
You know, that's another discussion in itself, but
Gotta
you
get you
know,
one.
it's
Gotta get gotta get you one.
you know,
Like a wavy light.
I mean, that's trickling down to NCAA as we were saying, where you
Yeah.
getting the professional basketball players to come over from overseas to take up these college roster spots. But people are mad because the G League players are doing essentially the same thing. You sent me something about that earlier. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that again at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.